Man, Mike Zimmer don't f**k around.
12 seconds to go in the game. Niners lead by 4. He'll fire to the right side.
Daniel Carlson misses 3 kicks. He's out of here. One of the gutsiest, ballsiest moves Rick Spielman has ever done, drafting up to take the highest drafted kicker in Vikings history. He plays 2 games, he's gone like a band-aid, not even wasting a minute to think about it. He's gone. And then they bring in, what, some random guy off the street? No, just the second most accurate field goal kicker of all time, Dan the Man Bailey. So all of a sudden, our special teams unit turns from a joke to one of the best, potentially, of all time. So hopefully everybody is already liking each other. Matt Wild's got the holds down, McDermott's got the snaps down, and we can finally get some field goals up and down through the posts. And finally, we can have a good field goal success. Hopefully this is going to be a lot like Ryan Longwell in the mid-2000s. Come on, be the guy for 5 to 10 years. And that would be absolutely fantastic. So that's not the only move that the Vikings have done. The Vikings have traded Treadwell for Odell Beckham. No, they haven't. We also got Tom Johnson. Remember him? Yeah, last year he was a starting 3-tech who just got released, and now he's back in Minnesota as a backup where he belongs. The rest of the GMs are playing checkers while Rick Spielman's playing chess. It's just too easy. The Vikings also picked up some no-name wide receiver. He'll be on the active roster but won't play a whole lot, and they released Stacy Coley, who, despite how bad Treadwell was last week, he comes in and he has his own drop of his own, so he gets cut. I don't know if it couldn't have been injury related. If that was the case, we would have put him on IR. So the coaches did cut Coley, and they went with a new guy. I don't know a whole lot about him. His numbers aren't very good. I know he had some time with Cousins, and they were okay together. So maybe, but I just don't think it's going to be a whole lot. And lastly, I want to say, where will Treadwell go? Will the Vikings eat up the cap and say, screw it, he's awful, get out of here? No. He's staying on the team this year, and furthermore, I don't think anybody can really take away the number 3 wide receiver spot from him. Because, number 1, remember, he beat out Kendall Wright to get the spot in the first place. If the Vikings wanted that insurance, they could have kept Kendall Wright and not cut him. And he was a former 1,000-yard receiver. Would have made a whole lot of sense for number 3 just straight off of that. On paper, it made a lot more sense. But Treadwell beat him. A Pro Bowl wide receiver, Treadwell beat. The coaches believe in him. The Cousins believes in him. So he just has to get his confidence, and I think he should be fine. Unfortunately, should and will are 2 completely different things, and maybe Brandon Zystra will come through and he'll be a guy. He's probably the best option to potentially take the number 3 spot if Treadwell just sucks some more. But I think it'll take a whole lot of sucking, so he does a lot more. And furthermore, one last point I want to throw out here before I go. What type of a position change would make sense for Treadwell if he doesn't have the speed for an outside receiver? He's not really shifty enough to be inside. But maybe, like we saw his touchdown on, that little inside, maybe tighter to the line of scrimmage, tight end maybe, would make a whole lot of sense. I think he'd have to put on some weight, of course. He's 215, maybe 220, so maybe 20 pounds, and he would be a solid receiving tight end. He's 6'2", so a little bit undersized, but his speed, which is slow for wide receivers, all of a sudden fast for a tight end, and he's good in the middle of the field, and that's where I think he would do very well. If that's something he would want to do, and he might have to, because it doesn't look like the receiving end's going very well for him. But hey, I still want him to have a chance. We don't have anybody else, is what it boils down to. So it's Treadwell or nobody. So somebody catch the ball, please. We'll see you guys next time.